Okay, and we're live. There won't be a lot of talking tonight, um, mostly due to the fact that I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking, and it's sort of hard to talk and think at the same time. So let's just update you guys on what's changed since last week. Last week we designed Palpy, and I finally gave the webtoon a title. I'm calling it Make Believe Miracles. Let's see, hold on. Where is. There we go. So I'm calling it Make Believe Miracles. And I finally worked out the log line for it, the category, and everything. So, let's get started. Whoops. I was looking for Vertical 3. There we go. So, since we've been here last week, there has been several illustrations drawn, a progress video went up on Instagram and on the YouTube channel. That happened just a little bit earlier today. And give me a sec. It says you guys are buffering, so I am attempting to close everything so that you guys don't have to deal with that. So I did a lot of research this week just to find out exactly what I'm getting myself into when it comes to this project and how I need to budget time for it. Um, it's a lot. It's a good thing I have a month. So I'm just working on it a little bit every day. My aim is to finish at least the first 3 episodes before the deadline. So that's about to be something else. But we will see. I am hoping that the buffering is better. So I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit. Mostly because I can't really hear myself. Oh, and if you'll notice, we have new music today. It's bright outside, and it's actually copyright free. I wasn't. I was kind of. Well, it's not copyright free. It's free to use in streams and vlogs and all of those wonderful things. And it's one of my favorite pieces. So let's just walk you guys through what we did last week. We started out with this one, and this is Palpy. Palpy has some design issues that I am trying my best to work out. First things first, many people who have given me feedback on Palpy have told me that they think that his cheeks are his eyes. YouTube is saying I have an error, so I'm just gonna ask you guys: are you receiving the video? Okay. Just let me know. So just let me know if it's buffering. I cannot tell from my end. Oh, let me know. There we go. Okay, thank you. YouTube says that there's a whole error going on here, so I'm not quite sure. So apart from this one, the design issues are that people are mistaking his cheeks for his eyes. So we made his eyes black and gave them little reflections, but they're still too small. Another thing that I have been told is that his arms are, it's essentially hard to tell what he's doing And so in this one, I sort of made his eyes bigger. I changed the style just a little bit. It's less coloring book, less storybook. It's a little bit more 3D, more solid. And we still had a problem with his eyes being unrecognizable or his cheeks being mistaken for his eyes. One artist said that they weren't quite sure where the hands were, so I guess I'm gonna have to start fudging anatomy just to get clarity across. And then the most recent, oh no, this is a lie. There is another one on top of this. Hold on. But the most recent one is finding objects. I'm trying to open it. So there's this one. This is the image that I've gotten the most mileage out of. I recorded the process of it to. Oh, okay. So I'll try and work on that. I recorded the process of this particular image and I made it into a 2-minute video just to try out something that was recommended to me last stream. And to see if I could do it, we had an Instagram live and I didn't want any of the Discord or YouTube people being lost in what was going on. So there we go. Yeah. So what we did was record it and put it as a 2-minute video so that you guys could watch it. So this one is me really just expanding on Palpi's powers, trying to figure out what he does, and having a whole lot of fun with this bubble effects that I finally worked out. So I'm gonna close this and happy water. This is the very last sketch that I did. This is the newest sketch. And there was a little story I imagined of Palpi's human being sad. And so he made his very best bubble and he decided he was going to give it to her. So, in land where Palpi lives, this is the best bubble. He had to find a way to get it to her without it popping. So, this is him protecting the bubble. Not really that much after that. There's still the design issues of the cheeks attracting too much attention. If you cover this up, most people think he's a bug-like character, which wouldn't be bad except those are his eyes. And I could just say, oh, these are his eyes and keep it moving, but that's bad. That's bad character design. So today we're going to try and work out Palpi's issues. I was being told to maybe get rid of some other things, but some of them are very essential to his design, like his little oval eyes, and others are not as essential. His bubble is essential given what his powers are, and so given what his powers are, I'm not sure his little tassels are essential, although they do give him a lot of personality. So that's what we're working out today, whether or not Palpi is going to be somehow I lost my layers panel in all of that figures. So we're just gonna sketch and let me know what you guys think in terms of the different sketches and so on and so forth. So the first critique I received was definitely about his eyes, so I'm definitely gonna make them bigger. So we're gonna make those much bigger. someone said to me to take the black lines out of his face. And so I'm going to take the black lines out and see if it makes a difference with this first one. His cheeks are there, you can barely see that cheek. See that cheek there. And I'm gonna streamline his shape into a cone. So we're gonna do that. Round the bottom out of this one so we get palpes out around the body. And actually, I think I'm going to shrink that down. So what I'm really focusing on now is readability and clarity, which is one of the categories on which you will get judged in the Webtoon competition. And as I was doing my research, I found that Webtoon has actually put up resources about what legibility and clarity and readability, what they consider all of that to be. Okay, there we go. So Webtoons actually put that up. It's in their Lozolals comic, and it's a whole comic chapter about Webtoon editing. They also have a lot of videos in Creator 101 about what to do, what to take into consideration, and so on and so forth. I'm beginning to see that since Palpi's character is so small, it's really, really important that his actions be very readable. I didn't give him a mouth, so it's even doubly more important. I did work out how he was going to express himself, though. I'm thinking of him using little bubbles. Just like that. But I will draw that in a bit. So like I said, we're streamlining this body, making it small. We want to keep him cute, that head disproportional. And his arms, definitely want to keep those around the same size as his legs. They need to be clearly separate from his body. Now, before Palpi had, and I'm going to open the file, open recent. We're going to use using magic to resolve that. And we want to view that to it vertically. So before Palpi had these tassels, right? Now, I really, really love those tassels, but I'm thinking I might need to minimize what's going on here in terms of so we're gonna take that out. Yeah, so we might need to minimize what's going on with those tassels, even though I love them so much. I love most things about this design, but if it's not working, it's not working. So I'm wondering about his stripes. I'm thinking maybe they might make his face a bit too busy. Oh. But if you guys have any ideas, anything that sort of stood out to you when you first saw his design, anything that confused you, please let me know, because I won't really have a lot of time to go back in and redesign him like this. I'm taking the time now since it's still early days yet. The story is still being fleshed out. Even just getting the log line down and the title down. The title is still a little bit iffy. I like it, but I think it could be easier to say or a little bit more catchy, but we'll see. So we've got Little Poppy here, and I'm wondering if I give him stripes instead of tassels. Or maybe just one set of tassels. I really love his tassels, guys. So if I give him one set of tassels instead of a whole four, then he starts to look a little bit like an iguana. Sorry, I saw it and I couldn't think. He reminds me of those lizards. Then they have the yeah. He reminds me of these things. They have that, and when you frighten them, they just their tongue at you, just like that. That's what he reminds me of, like a little lizard. Like they're just gonna grow out and go wah. But there we go. So since I removed a good amount of these tassels, I really want to streamline the shape of that body, break it up, um, make him really pudgy and round and stumpy, you know, cute 101 stuff. Because I feel like I'm taking away a lot of his cuteness. So YouTube says it stopped misbehaving. So that's good. Alright, so we're here. And I'm just gonna throw some color down on this, right? So let's do that. Gonna take the branding off for a bit. And color is, I worked out a color system that would allow me to get shadows in here very, very quickly. So I'm just gonna swatch these in so I don't have to keep on going back to this drawing. There you go, guys. Those are the four colors of Palpy. And then the color of his bubbles are teal. I don't need to swatch whites. That's just something else. So here you go. Four colors of Palpy and the two colors of his bubble. Now you know. So now that I've done that, there's one more thing I need to swatch, and it's the colors of his shadows. So you turn that off and turn all of that off. And his shadows are all overlays. So I grab that. And we're good to go. I don't do the overlays on his bubbles. They don't really need that much work. They're almost all highlight and transparency. So that being said, moving back to here, we're gonna just do a Palpy really, really quickly, see if this design is any better. And I'm gonna switch from my pencil brush to let's go with my inking. These are all general Photoshop brushes. I'm not using anything really, really special. So, like I said. And I received several other recommendations on how to change Palpy's design. Some of them I didn't really like too much, but we'll see. So we're gonna do that. And we're just doing these quick sketches, quick swatches. When we find a design that works, we're gonna color them up. And just like this, we're gonna experiment with Palpy. The other character, for now I'm calling her Kara, but she might get a new name, depending on what I need from her as a character. Usually I name my characters either accidentally or quite deliberately. But this time I would like to name, since Palpy's name is a whole accident, we're gonna name Karo a little bit more deliberately. So let's see. So we have this pattern now. So let's do that. Zoom in. So we're just gonna get in here very quickly. Not too concerned with how clean it is. And we're gonna swatch that out. Okay. Now I'm wondering about the stripes, right? Because Palpy has these stripes. Alright, so this is a new redesign of Palpy. Meanwhile, I'm doing this. How are you guys doing? It's been a whole week since I've spoken to you. What's happened? Did you guys have any tests, any homework? Is work treating you well? I also have a sneak peek of the update of Lockdown today, which is going to happen later down in the stream. The reason for that is I don't want Tony to miss it. I know he likes the Lockdown project. So, what's been going on, guys? Did the world end where you are? I know that we're having quite a scare with the quite a scare. I make it sound like the weather is bad, but we've been having a whole lot of news about the coronavirus and the spreading of it. So, what's it like in your country? Have they been preparing for it? How do you feel about it? And generally what's going on. A little bit apprehensive about what could be happening. There we go. Or what could happen. Yeah. I think perhaps like that. And my navigator and I are best friends. I just love the navigator. It's like being able to take a whole step back away from your painting and just really see what you're doing. This is a no flip zone, guys. Most of these are too quick for me to have to flip. I will do the flipping. Yes, I will do the flipping of the screen. There we go. When I am doing a very clean sketch. Alright, let's see. Fun answered. Fun says, been doing fine. People are panicking over the virus. The only good thing is that I know people will wash their hands from now. Yes, that has been. I feel really, really happy and really, really concerned about how many people have expressed that they did not regularly wash their hands prior to this. That's concerning on a whole different level, like for whole different reasons. Because it's not only corona that can kill you, there are viruses that can kill you going around every day. Hey, there are viruses that can straight up just end you going around every day. You should wash, like, people should wash their hands. Aw, thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Um, so I just realized that I used the wrong color to fill in the cheeks first. So I've got to find a way to make this cheek design work, guys, because I love these cheeks. These are the cheeks of cuteness. I mean, just look at them. They're big, green, and they glow. They're perfect. I'm joking. If they were perfect, they wouldn't be giving me so much trouble. Okay, so if I make the eyes almost as big as the cheeks, we're working. Ooh, that shape is not gonna do it today. All right. Uh, uh, it's like, I mean, you guys keep me focused on projects just by kind of being around because I'm much less likely to get distracted if there are people actually watching what I'm doing. Whoops, hey, what was that? So I moved the opacity of this down, and whoops. This was actually a trick I learned when I did the portrait painting class, and it was to give your eyes sort of two stages of reflection, especially when you're doing really simple ones. So if you do that, then they look wet and glossy. I'm not doing a very good job of it right now, but yeah, I think this works. But I'm gonna keep trying. First I'm gonna erase our little lizard. I'm gonna erase our lizard, the lizard that Palpy looks like, and yeah. So what I was thinking for his expressions, and I haven't drawn his bubble yet. So actually, let me draw his bubble and see if this design works with both. Because if it doesn't, then it's not the right design. Um. Okay. Surely. Not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if it's even gonna show up on stream, but what happened was I lassoed my, it happened again. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. It's dragging the colors. Okay, it's just gonna have to stay. So what I wanted to do, or no, I'll just move the colors. That's what we'll do. So let's go here. We move the colors. Control T, rotate the colors. And move them. Okay. Yeah. And he still maintains that cuteness. I mean, I'm drawing it in a very storybooky style right now, but I'm eventually gonna get back to this more 3D style. But this style is just easier to kind of knock things out on. So the changes in Palpy's design are bigger eyes. One day I will figure out how to make a cute character with small eyes, but until then, um, and then we've got The black lines out. So those are. This isn't gonna stay. We removed some of the tassels. So we've got less tassels. And I mean, he looks cute, but he doesn't look as interesting as before. His silhouette's a lot more boring now. So we might have to still yet more work to do. So there's that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this, Control J, and go back here, lasso it again, and delete it from this layer. And I'm going to lock this layer and make this just a swatches layer. And if I do that, I can now move him around anywhere I please without affecting the swatches, she thought. And then she realized that that wasn't the only thing that had issues. So on the sketch layer, I had the earlier sketches that I did off stream. So we're just gonna Control J those, move them down and out, and then lasso them again, and delete. And we're just gonna lock that layer as well. Okay, so brush down. And I like this. I like this version, but I think we can still work him just a little bit more. So Shift, Control J, Control E, and we're gonna delete this layer, move that version. Ooh, what's out there? Erase. Okay, I don't know what's out there, but something's out there. I'm sure it will work itself out. Okay, so let's see. We're here, and I still really, really love these tassels. Maybe I like the way they stick out and they kind of like fan out around him. But let me let go of the tassels for a bit because they do say kill your darlings. And I'm gonna go in with an eraser. Actually, take out all of his tassels. Ooh. My heart is breaking just a little bit. Just breaking just a little bit. And I'm going to switch back to my pencil. And that's in the Tri Media brushes. And it's a called Ultimate Pencil Hard Brush. So we're gonna do that. And so Palpi as a god is actually very selfish. As I was working out the logline and what kind of hero would make this story proud. I still need to change the logline because right now it says a small god and I wanted to say a selfish god. So I started adding this little hole to Palpi's bubble because he does use his bubble to carry water around with him. And the reason for that is that he's a water god. So maybe I should put more water elements into his design. Perhaps his cheeks should be blue if I take green out of his color scheme. But I feel that he needs that accent somehow. I'm very against him having a moat. I think he's too small to have a moat. There are other reasons, but that's the one I'm saying on stream. Um, there we go. So he looks like that. He doesn't have stripes on his body anymore. Maybe. Maybe he has the stripes here, but he doesn't have stripes anywhere else. So he has stripes on his face. He doesn't have stripes anywhere else. And maybe this is Palpy. Maybe this, no tassels, is Palpy. So, let's try this out. Let's see what we can do. And I feel like there's too many layers already, so I'm just gonna merge that down and lock it. So that's concept one. I'm trying to get better with naming my layers. All right, and there we go. And let's go back in here. So we're switching back to that brush, my inking brush. Doo-doo. One day I will master watercolor. Not this year. I've got other stuff planned for this year. Perhaps next year. I will master watercolor and I will incorporate the beauty that is watercolor. Okay, so here's my thing, right? How do you have a water god, right? And hear me out. How do you have a water god that's predominantly red? Like, was he a magma god in another life? I want to know, Palpi, what were you doing? Okay, so let's get my navigator out and up. And I actually want to just shove the navigator there. And okay, I know you guys can't see the navigator yet, so alright. I don't know if you guys will ever be able to see the navigator this particular stream, but hey. Yeah. So did that. And let's get the teal. And given my question earlier, I do think Palpy needs a lot more blue in him. I don't like the idea of a water god that is predominantly red, not unless there's a specific reason for that red. So, I feel like I'm losing water. He looks more like a fire version of Palpy. So, let's make him blue. Well, let's do this first. Let's take care of these cheeks that are troubling my soul. Hello, Palpy's cheeks. The cheeks that I love so much. The cheeks that are causing me stress. Yes, you. Sometimes I talk to my characters. I have to let them know when they're causing me stress, guys, so that they're aware of it and they will try their best not to do it again. Yep, I should just leave his eyes like that. Stare into the black hole. Look, that is beautiful right there. It's giving me ideas. I'm gonna make Palpy look like he committed something. Like, hey. And no, he's not looking at you. Now you know he's done something wrong. He's absolutely not looking at you. And if I grab this, since I have his bubble, I don't have the background or anything, so it's not gonna look as nice, but we do this. And then the colors are unbalanced. Colors are very unbalanced. So I'm just gonna go over to layers. Oh, you can see the navigator. Congrats, guys. And I'm gonna control J, control E. I'm gonna control T. Move that up there. And immediately I can see the problem with that one is that it has too little blue to balance out all of that red. The red is just overpowering everything. So I'm gonna, not much different from the last concept, we are just going to put some more blue back into Poppy's life. Oh, no wonder everything's looking weird. I was drawing on top of my sketch. So I really like the idea of Palpy having limbs that alternate. And where did I drop my navigator? Um, hey, that's such a mean thing to say, Tony. I literally told them earlier today that I'm waiting on the preview of Lockdown until you come because I know that you want to see it and I didn't want you to miss it. And the first thing you do is accuse me of forgetting about you. I'm hurt, Tony. I'm hurt. Okay, so we're here. And his body being like this. Okay, let's try this one. I mean, Lockdown is more of my passion project, and Palpy is my. Was also a passion project, but Palpy is like the project that I'm trying to use to get something marketable out. Okay, so we're here. Okay, let's get that. Let's see. This go in here. And my navigator. I'm always losing that thing. Like, where on earth am I putting it? Why am I always losing it like this? Um, fine. I will go search for it. I get that all the time. Like, why does it look like it could be a Pokemon? I think because there's actually a Pokemon with a bubble that wears a bubble to breathe, which is actually quite a different reason for why Palpy wears a bubble. And Palpy wears a bubble because he can only control one cup of water. But he gotta keep water with him all the time, so hence the bubble. Okay. All right. This design is how do I put it? Yes, you can have your hugs. Da. Okay, dokie. All right. So let's see. I can probably do the yeah. All right. So it's not really. It's not coming together, guys. This version of Poppy is just not happening. And I'm gonna grab more of the red. Gonna start putting back them stripes in there. Well, actually, no. What I think I'm going to do is um Palpy's not that kind of god. Palpy isn't at the stage where he's controlling oceans. He's gotta do this thing that gods do when it comes to like growing and stuff. My whole concept for Palpy is that he's a god that hasn't yet learned how to exist with his believers. He's really selfish as a god. Like he is a selfish god. And so he's still a baby because he hasn't yet learned that sweet spot between being selfish and being a good god. I'm not quite sure how this story is gonna turn out. I have my logline, I have my title, and I have my hopes and dreams. My hope and dream is to win the contest. That's my hope and dream. But competition is stiff, guys. Stiff. Ooh, hello. Hey. Um, so we're here and we're just trying to sort out concept art for this character. I believe this is the first time I've made the tassels at the top red. So that's the thing. We have received a critique that the character is too hard to read. Tony says, OMG, he's a perfect partner for me. He's selfish, I'm selfish, we'll be best buddies. Well, that would mean you'd have to become a believer in Palpy, because you can't see him if you don't believe in him. I keep saying he only has one believer, and then so many people go out of their way to say that they believe in him. So by the end of this, he might have more believers than he thought he did. Whoops. Nope. So that is that. Really not liking this at all. So far, the one I like the most is this one. And I can see where the problem is with these tassels is that. Oh, I have an idea. Let's try this. Leave that alone. Leave that. Oh, watch me have colored on the wrong layer. Beautiful. Okay, if I did that. Oh, so my sketch is on this layer. That's interesting. Well, I didn't like that design anyway, so moving right along. Welcome to the stream, Zoe. Haha. He is a perfect Like Tony, I don't understand. You're gonna take over Lockdown, and you're gonna have Palpy help you take over Lockdown. Is that what it is? That's what we're doing now. So I really, really, really dislike this. So what we're gonna do is go here, erase all of that because I'm gonna do a new sketch. And this is the sketch. This is the sketch layer, so I'm gonna create a copy of it. This is the base sketch, and I just keep creating copies. Control J. I will lock the actual sketch copy. Um, I really think he could just take on the world with ice cream. I think that's about all the sacrifice he needs. He's a really cheap god, you know. Ice cream will do it for him. He's been around a while compared to humans, and I think he pretty much thinks that's the best thing we've ever done for ourselves. There's a lot of other questionable things that we've done that he wonders about, but ice cream he's got no problem with. This is the one that I'm liking so far. This one. Oh, that one is the one I'm liking so far, and so I'm going to come down here, get my pencil, and it would help if I was in the right menu. Alright. So I've got all of these circular shapes on Palpy already, right? What if I simply continued them? What if instead of stripes... okay, give me a sec. Something. One of these things is not like the other. Okay. Okay. I don't know what those are. No, I know what that is. This. So I'm gonna just erase this. Hey, nothing has happened to the Discord server. Oh, Raven's Discord server? Ah, yep. It went bye bye. But if Rave is doing that, I'm sure she has a good reason as to why she's doing it. Nah, now Poppy looks like he has. So, like, he's the only god of water because I can see him being the god. He looks like a tiny mushroom. Yes, I've gotten that one too. Um, he is only a god of water. Yes. He's based off of a Taino Zemi. I wanted to make him bright and colorful because I refuse to believe that in all this time that they were making those Zemis, that they didn't at least have one color to put on it. We've got too many things down here in Jamaica that stain your clothes different colors. Heck, we've got sorrel down here. I believe he could have at least been red. Um, those circles make him look like he's wearing glasses. So I'm gonna go back to the stripes. Yeah. He could totally be more than. Yeah. Usually, if she does something, there's a reason. So I'm just going to trust that she has her reasons. And if she wants to talk about it, she will talk about it. Okay. So I think that's something that she wants to deal with. So I'm putting the tassels back. And I think I'm actually going to separate them out a little bit. There's a tassel there, there's a tassel there, there's a tassel there. So they're not just haphazardly about the place like a bush. They actually have placements. And let's see. I'm going to put another set of tassels. And I'm going to leave it at that. So this new design. Huh. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Don't ask how I've managed to hurt myself. Oh, that thank you for reminding me, Tony. I need to show you guys the update for Lockdown. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna go Adobe After Effects. And while After Effects is opening up on my computer, I am going to color this one in. So I'm setting up After Effects so you guys will be able to see what's going on with Lockdown. I don't know if I showed you the color change already. It's got a new palette. What was the last thing I showed you with Lockdown? Let me know. That will tell me which file to open. Okay, so I'm gonna have Palpy looking up. Since I have him looking sideways, I have him looking. We're gonna have him look up this time. Um, that's highly valid. Did something happen, Tony? Everything okay? Um. Oh, there we go. Locked on animation. And I'm gonna see if I can switch those two. Ooh. All right. So while I'm opening this up, guys, um, I asked earlier, how has the virus response been in your area? Have you guys been preparing well? Has your country been affected? I know that we have Kayit who is on the other side of the world, so I've been wondering if he's okay. Um, Actually, I should send him a message. You're playing a zombie game. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this. I want to undock it. There we go. And undocking that panel will allow me to share it with you guys. There we go. You guys can see it perfectly now. So it switched. So I'm gonna make that smaller. Alright, there we go. So guys, the update of lockdown. You should go. um I'm sending it now, Tony, so that you don't get yelled at. So hit play. And if you guys have any music suggestions for this, preferably music I won't have to get copyright things for. So change the light, fiddled with the animations a bit. There is a car that I'm adding to this. Let me see if I can get the layer composition down. So I made more cars for this and more people. And I managed to find someone who's willing to work on Lockdown with me since it's taking so long. And they will be doing the dancing tree animations. So that is a thing. Things that changed within Lockdown. So the animations for the boys changed. Oh wow, that's something else. We don't actually have it here yet. We don't have any confirmed cases. The government has been very concerned about it, and everybody's still wondering about what the response is going to be. But oh, that is the update of Lockdown, by the way. There's not really going to be much progress on it until the end of the Webtoon competition, but I will let you know what's going on with it as the other person who has agreed to work on it does work. Guys, there's more people. I'm so happy. Oh, Tony, you're still locked out of Lockdown. What are you talking about? Yeah, let's make Poppy blink. There we go. Of course, you're still locked out of Lockdown. We're not gonna let you into Lockdown. That's dangerous for the people. Gotta keep them at peace. So, plus, you still haven't found the key to Lockdown. How you gonna waltz into Lockdown like that? Alright, so, back to Poppy. Oh, other updates on my job. I used a emoji in Discord today that um my supervisor designed. It's the kiss teeth emoji. Well, it was a GIF. It's on Tenor and Giphy. And it's the most Jamaican expression I've ever seen. The emoji's mouth goes in a full 360 around its face. It's hilarious. As like your daughter sounds very cute, Tony. But why are you getting yelled at? Gonna do that. I say very cute, but I think all small children are usually cute. I know not many people agree with me, but I can only have this perspective because I don't have any, and I don't have to take them home at the end of the day. So I'm quite aware of where my biases are. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. Actually, no. I'm quite happy that you know that you have nothing to use them on, because some people don't. Um, so let me stop being concerned. There's common sense there. But don't worry, the apocalypse will come one day, and if we're lucky, it won't be while we're alive. Um, I'm just kind of hoping that there will be no major wars in my lifetime. Okay, I'm kind of hoping there will be no more major wars in my lifetime. I'm hoping I survive any of the major wars in my lifetime. My job is canceling all overseas meetings until the virus is under control. No one has been confirmed sick yet. Kids are cutest when they're not yours. That is true. That is very true. Kids are cutest when they're not yours. Um, your job has been canceling all overseas meetings until the virus. Do you still have the meetings like over video chat, or do you just cancel them completely? And also, second Tony's question: do you get paid even if they cancel everything? I think I like this version of him. I think this version is cute. All right, there we go. And window, open view, navigator. Oh, you're so adorable, Poppy. I love all versions of you. But this is the version that is looking pretty good right now. I should not have drawn his eyes first. No, I have to color around them. No. Anyway, what do you guys think of this version? Let me know. Is there anything that strikes you as confusing, or it's not really registering correctly? Do you know where his eyes are? Do you know where his feet are? I mean, he's standing up in a pretty innocuous pose, so if you can't tell in this position, I know it's really not working. So please, let me know. Thank you. Alright. They try their best to WebEx when they can, but honestly, only time will tell if certain projects get funding. Oy, ay, ay. I know that stress. I know that stress so much. I know that stress so much. I'm working as a. I'm doing animation, but I feel more like I'm on the marketing side of things. So we'll see. But we'll see. On the other hand, I'm learning how to plan things consistently, which has been a weakness of mine for a few years now. So I'm not too caught up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to concentrate on not painting over this. I actually, yeah. There we go. Now, Palpy's little bum is going to be red. So he's red underneath all of this stuff. So does that mean his feet are blue? Because if I do it like this, you can say, okay, his limbs are a separate color from his body. Um, I've heard so many people say that as well, and yeah, most of the people who died have been elderly people with pre-existing medical conditions. Um, the recovery rate is actually quite high, but only for those of us who are younger. And so I really do think that people who are older, who do have pre-existing medical conditions, should be even more careful than, well, even more careful than careful, because it seems to be hitting their demographic very hard. Um, that's not to say that we shouldn't be careful. It's just to say that statistically, we're more likely to recover. All right, so I think his feet should be red. Um, do you think the will if they make one? Actually, a very interesting side note from one of our government officials down here in Jamaica. He's very skeptical about the timeline for the vaccine. What he was saying is that the amount of testing that goes into making a vaccine and the resources and everything, he does not think that there all of that will be able to be organized, and essentially all the logistics and politics of organizing it to make a vaccine will be able to work out within a year. And that's not even taking into contribution. Yeah, that looks better. That's not even taking into consideration, there we go, that's the word I'm looking for. Consideration, distribution of the vaccine to other countries. There is unfortunately the politics of getting it to other countries, and whether or not, um, I hate to say this, but if this outbreak does become as bad as many people are foreseeing it to be, it could also become a point of bargaining in some countries. You watch and listen to the news, the strangest things become bargaining chips in political disputes. Um, okay. I highly doubt it. I think we'll be stuck with this for another 2 years. About Palpy, does he have to do battle ever? Would he get armor? Does he have a neck? He should do battle with a tamarind switch. Oh my goodness. All right. So before I answer that question, um, Zoe is clearly Jamaican. A tamarind switch. How do I explain a tamarind switch? A tamarind is a plant. I guess a tamarind is a plant down here. It's fairly tart, bittersweet. We use it to make. Well, no, it's tart. It's not bitter. We use it to make sweets. So you'll roll tamarind up in a ball and you roll it in sugar, and that's like a candy or snack. So how do we put this? I don't know about Paupi getting armor. Does he do battle? I don't know yet, is the answer to that question. The story has not yet been written. I am not writing him as a character who's going to do intense battle. However, depending on where the story takes me, because all of this is brand new, he very well could do battle. And I really, really, really like this design. I mean, I really like this design, guys. I think this is one of the top runners so far, this one. He still has the tassels. I'm gonna give him a shadow. He still has the tassels. Not as much as before, but enough that I don't feel like I've lost that. Still has his bubble, his cheeks, his eyes are identifiable, and his body is red, which is odd for a water god, but I think if I give him enough bubbles, we can solve that. um yeah, you could probably beat them with a tamarind switch. A tamarind switch, okay. So let me give you guys an idea. Palpy is slightly taller than the average mug. And I don't mean those jumbo mugs. He's like that would be the cutest if Palpy took on Zeus and won. But he's a water god and Zeus is lightning, and he's a very small target, which is probably the only thing he's got going for him right now. So Palpy and his one cup of water versus Zeus with his all powerful lightning. I don't know. Maybe he wins through cuteness. Maybe he convinces one of the other gods to fight for him through sheer cuteness. You second this. You guys are gonna get me in problems. That's what you guys are gonna do. Anyway, guys, I am liking this design. This one, I think it's readable. It still has all of his regular elements. His eyes, we can figure it out. His limbs stand out from his body, and there's still enough of the essence of the original that I don't think it's gonna cause any problems later. So, what I'm going to do now is grab these. Gonna put them in a group. I'm just gonna call this group Rejected Concepts. Just like a little tiny demigod just waltzes into the Greek pantheon and says, "Okay, this is me." And Poseidon is just all for it. He's just like, "Okay, I've been here too long, time to pass the crown on." He just hands it to Palpy and just, goes on a vacation. Maybe he comes to Jamaica. He comes and looks after Jamaica while Palpy's in Greece doing his job. This is Poseidon's reincarnated form. Wow. Got pretty cute. Is that a bad thing for him or a good thing for him? I don't know. Okay, so I don't know what this layer is for, guys. There's actually nothing on this layer, so I've had a layer just sitting there taking up computer space for a while now. So the sketch is there, and let's put this in a group too. That's the original sketch. I'm gonna put it in rejected concepts. I'm just doing some cleanup because now I'm gonna do a proper illustration. So control group, and this is the accepted concept. Ironically enough, Palpy is actually a month, I believe, in the Greek calendar, which, remember when I said I named the Palpy accidentally? So if you type Palpy on Google, Palpy is a Greek month. So it's a Greek word, but it's the second month of the ancient Egyptian calendar. Nope, I remember very specifically that we already have one person who runs around with bombs. We do not need two. That's what I remember from the last Stardew Valley stream. That we do not give Tony, nor do we give Fantasy any bombs. Okay, so now that we've got this concept here, let's get to sketching. So we're gonna go in with pencil, and I'm gonna try a happy expression for Poppy. And see if my idea for his expressions work. If they don't, I might have to just cave and give him a mouth. I really don't want to give him a mouth, but um I don't know. I mean, he can control water. I don't know if we're gonna go Avatar the Last Airbender on this. I could see him being friends with Quetzalcoatl though. Like if we're talking about or Quetzal, is that a Mayan god? I think that one's Mayan. I mix up the Aztec and the Mayan gods all the time. It was a really, really bad part of history for me. Okay, so I've made his cheeks smaller. Yeah. Let's work out these expressions on his faces. Here, there. And we make these eyes much bigger than they were before. So they're going to take up about half his face. Now on either side of that center line, we're going to draw two lines, and that's going to be the borders for his stripes. And now that his eyes are bigger and the stripes are there, this really, really puts his face out. Would explain the red in his color palette too. True. This is very true. Bun Bun was saying that Palki looks like a baby piñata. And I can't argue with that at all. He very much does look like a baby piñata. Maybe I need to change his color palette. I really like it, but if it's not communicating what it needs to, gotta get that thing going. I am slowly learning that I have to sacrifice certain things to readability and functionality. So what I'm doing right now is I'm thinking maybe a teardrop shape in his design would help. There we go. His hands go there. There go behind that thing. Let's erase, erase, erase. So Poppy is reaching up. Simple movements should be very clear with this design. If they're not, well, I'm in problems. So I've already gotten proportions wrong on this. So what I'm gonna do is ooh, yes, probably. I think Palpy would love to go for a ride on Quetzalcoatl. Palpy would absolutely love that. He's light enough to fit on his own bubbles, so at least according to the image I drew. So that is the proportion of Palpy's body. I got it wrong. So now gotta draw this back. And his hands have to be whole as a teardrops. Need to make sense. So I'm gonna put this hand in front of that cheek so that this pose reads very well. And I'm going to move this line up so that comes there. And we're pushing these shapes. So we're gonna give, because Palpi has a butt. If you guys remember the very first sketch I did of him, I put the butt there. So I'm gonna do that. And that is looking like Palpi. It's okay. I appreciate brainstorming and everything. It's really, really stressful when you have to come up with all the ideas by yourself. And sometimes, as an artist, we can get trapped in that. I was watching a video by Jake Parker, better known as the creator of. Where are you going? Stop. Um, Mr. Little. Anyway, so you better know Jake Parker as the creator of Inktober. Yes, that is what I was going for, a combination of water droplets. So now that I have his basic design out, now is where we start pushing shapes, trying to get these things down. And this is actually on that. Switch to my inking brush. And we're gonna go over this, just ink it real quickly. You'll notice I haven't drawn Palpi's bubble. It's because I'm not sure what this is gonna do anymore. So, oh, and for those of you who don't know, I am currently drawing on a XP pen Artist 15.6 Pro. And what that means is this bad boy is amazing. I'm joking. It has calibration issues a lot. So what that means is I'm drawing on a pen display tablet. So I have some, at certain angles, the calibration goes off. But inking has become a whole lot easier. So I can finish pieces twice, actually no, 3 times as quickly as I did before. Simply because I'm not fighting with my head anymore when it comes to inking. My hand-eye coordination wasn't very good. Okay. Guys, this is a 5-chapter comic. I'm just letting you all know that. 5 chapters. At most. The minimum is 3, and I have to draw it. I still have commissions and stuff too. I have 2 commission, 1 active commission, 1 commission that's doing something, and another that is. Hold on. Like, guys, I'm being very conscious of the fact that I've never made a webtoon before. I made comics before, but not webtoons. And I don't even know how to plot these things. That's how far into this I am lost. I was watching a video the other day. How do you plot a webtoon? Because their vertical scroll format is actually pretty difficult. A water god trying to find his purpose in a land full of water. Seems interesting. He may have to travel a bit. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Like, would he? I keep trying to imagine Palpi traveling, right? Given how it's okay, don't worry. I'm actually really, really excited. Um, I'm trying to imagine Palpi traveling, and the best thing I've got is that he rides these bubbles. The calibration on this is frustrating, guys, because it goes off at the weirdest times. This is why people just stick with Wacom. It's not only because of the brand name, it's because you don't have to deal with a lot of issues. Like setting this up was a nightmare. And I still can't get the line that I want right there. Like some of these lines are just not it. Because the calibration keeps going off, off, off. So I'm also thinking of. So my coworker recommended to me Clip Studio Paint, but I feel that Photoshop has more versatility. But maybe that's because I did Adobe. But aside from that, okay, let's see. That is not the line that I want. The line that I want is this one. You see what I mean about the calibration? It's off again. With Clip Studio Paint, I wouldn't have these problems. Vector lines are gorgeous. Although she was saying to me that there are vector lines in Photoshop, I've yet to see them, but I can do some research. Apart from that, though, in terms of things Palpi can do so far, make bubbles is it. You guys can think of other powers you want to give him. One very good thing, and discovering what his water. If you like that idea, there's actually a webcomic that I think you should read. It has a premises almost similar to that, except instead of the god, I believe it's her follower. Yeah, it's her follower that goes on this journey. Because people don't believe in the water god anymore. They think she's a myth. And they believe in the sun god. Okay, so that is Palpi for now. I'm not 100% pleased with these lines, and I know if I flip this, I'm going to. Guys, that I can see that's wrong from this angle. When I flip this, it's gonna look so weird. It's not funny. So flip. Come on, work with me. Okay, so his cheek is wrong, his hands are wrong, everything. Yikes. No, he can control a cup. That's why. A single cup. Okay, so even before inking, sorry guys, this sketch is actually way off. If that's what the ink looks like, the sketch is actually very, very wrong. So I'm gonna go here, go to actions, and flip the sketch. Yep, and the sketch has similar problems. So we're gonna go back and fix that. Um, I'm thinking that Webtoon is actually already doing pretty, probably doing more than manga because a lot of manga and anime, or maybe I'm thinking of anime. I believe that a lot of anime's issues is that the merchandise doesn't sell anymore. They're still selling DVDs and stuff like that, and our generation has pretty much moved on to streaming. Whoops! Hey, hey, hey! I think I flipped a layer I wasn't supposed to flip in a document, so I'm gonna close that. Well, first let's press enter. Do that. No, we don't save the changes to that. There we go. And so in this layer, we're gonna flip. All right, there we go. So first thing I noticed that's wrong with this is this cheek is wrong. So Poppy's cheek is coming out too much, and we want to get that into dry pencils. That's still wrong. Um, I think with Webtoon, I there's also a sense of ownership of Webtoon because of Canvas, formerly Discover. Um, yeah, so if I put that little piece right there, that can be Poppy's cheek. So a lot of the featured webtoons are from Discover, and so you'll have fan bases already built into them when they become featured. So you very rarely have a webtoon making what you'd call a cold launch. Uh, Webtoons are cheaper to make. I don't know if they're less stressful to make, but they're definitely cheaper to make than manga. Um, Although some webtoons are made traditionally, I know Assassin Roommate is hand drawn, Insecurity is hand drawn, and I think is it Cursed Princess? But a lot of them are hand drawn. What Webtoon encourages though is color, which is what they have up over manga. Manga is usually you get one color page and then everything is in black and white. And color manga is very expensive to make. Um, and I was reading Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics, and it's basically a giant comic book. Let me just start with that. The whole book is a comic, it's an informative comic. And essentially, he was talking about the history of color in comic books. And yeah, and let's check this line right here. This actually goes out that way. Um, let's bring that up like a hip. All right, sorry guys, I was just thinking about that. Yeah. So Webtoon is cheaper. Well, the initial cost is high, but Webtoon is cheaper to make in the long run. And you can also work on Webtoons in different places. For example, you could get yourself an iPad Pro and just go work on the go, or you can have a workstation set up at home, like I do. Now my workstation is primarily at home. Before, when I had my bamboo tablet, I had the privilege of being able to go to a cafe and work. Now I don't really have that privilege. If I want to get work done in terms of drawing on a drawing tablet, I have to be at home because the tablet is big. So I guess the next thing you save up for is that. Um, One thing though is that there are many webtoon artists who are still using bamboo Wacom bamboo tablets, which are discontinued, like I was. So I just want to point out to anyone who might be considering starting a webtoon that you do not need the most expensive tablet. You can get a simple tablet, work on structure, work on storytelling. These are the things that will hurt you later on the line. I am telling you today how my story is stressing me out. Okay, so let's go here, go here. There we go. So this, I made the line thinner. But what are some of your favorite webtoons, guys? Do you have a favorite webtoon? Have you ever read a webtoon? If you haven't read a webtoon, are you interested in them? Just the questions I'm asking. Okay. Noblesse to me is a classic. Oh, Noblesse. I really do love the storyline of Noblesse. I'm hey, in danger of sounding cliche. Frankenstein is my favorite character. I just, he's not perfect, and that's what I love about him. There are so many flaws in Frankenstein, it's not funny. But I love him as a character. Um, Why Noblesse over another classic series? Because other series from the same time period as Noblesse are Tower of God, God of High School. There's quite a few from that time period that are still ongoing on Webtoon. Others have disappeared or they've been completed. I think Undead Ed has been completed. But let's see. Yeah, it's Tower of God, Noblesse. I don't even recognize Webtoon original section anymore. It's all new comics. Mm, let's see. I'm gonna divide it into old and new comics. If it's in terms of older comics, then it's Novelist, hands down. If it's in terms of new comics, I really, really like, um, and I'm not counting Tower of God in this because I feel like Tower of God has an unfair advantage in a way. But in terms of new comics, it's between Yumi Cells and where is it? It's Lore Olympus, Yumi Cells, and Frickin' Romance. Lore Olympus, I really, really like the concept of it, this retelling of Greek history. Frickin' Romance also has a really, really interesting comic concept in terms of the fact that the two main characters are in different dimensions. And Yume Cells is what would happen if you took Inside Out and made it into a Korean comic. That's the only way I can describe Yume Cells. Okay, so now that I feel that this drawing is a little bit more correct. It still has issues. I There's parts of it that are lopsided. There's parts of it that are, yeah. But I just have to work on getting better because as I have learned with getting a pen display tablet, don't blame your equipment. It's not your equipment. It's you. Okay. There we go. All right, we are pushing 9:19, and I know some of you have daylight savings going on. So, if yeah, if this, what time is it for you guys who have daylight savings? Like, what's going on that side of the world? Whoa, that was interesting. All right, I guess it's because of the story direction. It was kind of like those new isekai animes where the protagonist was overpowered but like a fish out of water. I liked this concept a lot back then. Um, Actually, if I think about it, and I don't want to be mobbed by the anime community, yeah, Noblesse's initial concept is very much a lot like the isekai craze that is going on right now. Um, I think the only difference is probably that a lot of isekai is hyper focused on wish fulfillment. And what I mean by wish fulfillment is like guy gets the girl, or guy gets the weapon, or guy gets the fame and everything. And I feel like the characters are just missing a lot of substance in terms of being people. But that's a whole different discussion. Ba-do-do-do. But even in the new isekai craze, there are some really good ones coming out, but there's a lot of really not good ones floating around the place. I saw some really questionable ones that make me understand why Australia is trying to ban anime. Um, was it Australia? Maybe I'm getting the country wrong. There's a country somewhere that's trying to ban anime and manga. I will have to search for it. Alright, so these lines kind of feel doodly to me. But this is this is just a test run. This is just a test run. This line is not a test run. This line is just bad. You hear me? This line is just bad. Where is? Oh, the opacity is down. When did that happen? Oh, I moved it. That would make sense, right? Yeah, these lines are just not good lines. Is this? This is where we want to be going. And then, so we're gonna close that, and then we flip. This is the downside of having these things now. Now you see them, and you're just like, ooh, what was I thinking? No, that's not the curve. It's definitely somewhere out here. I just don't know where. Or maybe it's the way it comes in on the inner cheek. Honestly, it's just supposed to be an oval. Ay, ay, ay. Turn it off. Okay. Somewhere in here, we've got a wrong shape. Maybe. So my pen keeps sliding across the glass, and this is terrible. It feels like I can't get a good grip on things. And it's a new nib, so I know it's not. Ah, that is true. Konotsuba is. The thing is, you just listed two animes and mangas that I haven't really read. I've heard good reviews about them, but I haven't really sat down and read them, so I don't want to give like a major. Well, no, I read some of Konosuba. I did. I could not get past the first chapter of Re Zero. I just looked at it and it was something. So there it is. All right, I'm still fighting with the ink. I have to move on now, or else I'm gonna be here way past when we're supposed to stop. So let's get the flats in. So this is where the swatches are. This is the sketch. And let's get this down. I mean, guys, what do you think? What do you think of Konosuba and ReZero? I'm going to take your opinions on it because I can't really form an opinion of it, given that I haven't really watched it. Not in the way that you would watch something when you wanted to give an unbiased opinion of it. I watched it in the nah, I ain't doing this again way. I feel like there's a lot of good anime that I've watched where I just look at it and I'm like, I ain't doing this again. It's not that the anime is bad, it's just there's certain aspects of it that make me go, okay, it was good, but if I have to watch that corny joke happen one more time, I think it's about to be the end of something. Alright, so I know my coloring is messy. I'm going to clean it up later. I have brought my don't care. I'm trying to get this done prior to everything. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm over here drawing and inking and everything. I haven't actually finished the sketch. What the on earth, guys? I'm airheaded. You can't leave me to my own devices. How did I forget to finish the sketch? Okay. So, um, so we've got that, and there, and this has one, two, three. The other one's fallen there. This has one, two, three, four. As I legit forgot to finish the drawing. Like, how on earth did I manage to do that? I love Overlord. I'm sorry. It's so true. um, Overlord. Okay, I love Overlord in the sense that I watched it for a good while before I stopped. I do like dark humor. I also like really corny humor. The dad jokes competitions, which we should have more of, should tell you this. Like Overlord is the Adams family of isekai animes. I also like the Adams family. I love the Adams family. I believe in that song. Wednesday Adams is all I ever wanted to be. Lethal and cute. All I ever wanted to be in life. Comedy particular to everyone. That's true. I know that. I think it's Psychopaths that I believe is an amazing anime. I just cannot. Like, I cannot get through the anime for some strange reason. The first episode is a lot to take on, and I think it triggers me in some ways. But I honestly believe Psychopaths is an amazing anime. Like, I think it's just fantastic. Alright, guys. So, on that note, so we've established that I can actually forget to draw my own drawing live on stream. You saw it here today. Mona can forget how to draw her own drawing. So, guys, if you've ever wondered, now you know. All right. And then I am not going through the inking process again. So sorry. I'm just going to color it like this. I will ink it later, or else I'm not going to finish this for tonight. I should put that on. Let's assume that the light is coming from the top. So, oh, shoot, I'm on the wrong layer. Got to stop drawing now. You're on the wrong layer. There we go. And of course, I would backspace so far that I would backspace into the erase button. Alright, so we do that. And so the light is very much there. And I'm thinking probably this light isn't the best to serve this. I think maybe the light should come from that direction to make him cuter, give him some looking up into the light sort of vibes. I'm gonna lock the transparency on this and just do that. And when you lock the transparency in Photoshop, you won't go outside of the any color that you've already established. You just have to make sure that your inside edges are pretty clean. Not that my outside edges are clean, but like I said, we just out here trying our best. And then you can switch to another color to get your there we go. Alright. I always tell people to come here when they need to do their homework. It's a great relaxing place to be. I'm not really sure. Yeah. I'm not really sure of how much teaching I actually want to do. That's a lot of work that I'm not sure I am prepared to handle when it comes to job and personal projects and all of that. But we will see. I'm trying to get myself on an update schedule. I'm thinking I am probably going to prepare a buffer of videos and comics and stuff. So this year is really just my prep year. I just really want to try the Webtoon competition. I really want to win it. So I am out here trying my best with this one. But it will give me a finished comic at the end of the day, which is a finished project that I can market, even if Webtoon won't market it. So, in a way, it's a win-win. So, let's do that. Now, here's the weird thing about doing this style of coloring, right? You kind of have to identify all of the shadows and lighting and everything prior to getting any color on it, and my mind has a hard time wrapping its head around that. The values and everything just don't click. So I figure if I practice it more, it will make sense. But we don't know. Mm, but how will you pass these skills on to your kiddies? I think we skipped a few steps there. First, I would need to find whoever I'm having kiddies with, but okay. Um, could also adopt a few kitties. So guess you're right. I didn't skip any steps. Um, how will I pass my skills on to my kids? Well, first of all, they would have to to express an interest in it. There's nothing worse than being forced to do something that you really are not passionate about, especially when it's about your life. Um, I am making up shadows right now, and they're really, really bad. Whew. My navigator tells me they're bad. So, my thing is, I really think the best way of passing information on is through books. And hold on, hear me out here. Because I know it's just like books, but we have the internet. Um, yeah, but when you're reading a book, you pay attention. Whereas I've been reading on the internet and I've had to read the same articles five or six or four. Yep, those numbers are correct. They just didn't come out in the right order. Finish the webtoon and the future will come to pass. Ah, is that so? I hope so. Do, do, do. I hope so indeedy. I hope that the future that comes to pass is me winning Webtoons competition. There's another comic contest going on. Hey, Pack! I know. I am aware of the irony. But here is where the irony is going to make sense. Most of the information that I share on stream, I'm reading out of books. So live streams are honestly just me reading a book and telling you what I've read. So that's why I say I honestly think the best way to pass the information on is books because even watching Webtoon, they were recommending books. I just think the only reason books aren't popular anymore is because they're not sexy. And I mean, you have to be a special kind of nerd, the kind of nerd I am, to look at a book and go, ooh, that's sexy. It's okay, Pac. I appreciate that you're coming. You come to the stream quite regularly. But yeah, that's why I say I believe books. I just think that we pay attention when we read books in a way that we don't pay attention when we're consuming other media. Um, but you have done the work for us, efficiency. Um, technically, I haven't. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. You're getting whatever I have understood, uh, whatever I have understood from the book. So if I misinterpret it, or I don't understand it completely, I can always go back to the correct reference information. But as far as you guys are concerned, this is the correct reference information. That might not be true. Like, I might very well be telling you incorrect information. Although books do have that same problem, so perhaps I shouldn't. Hey, Pac, we are debate. So I said earlier that I think books are actually the best way of passing on information, and Zoe is talking about the fact that I'm doing a live stream while making that statement. The irony of which is not lost on me in the slightest. Um, but my argument, yes, my argument is that I have to read books to give you guys. Hold on. I have to read books to give you guys the information that I give you. So in that sense, but then she says efficiency, and then I shot myself in the foot. That's what happened with that conversation. Okay, I knew there was a reason this area looked too dark. None of these harsh shadows exist on the inside. All of them exist at the bottom. In fact, let's just take all of them out. Zoe is a champion for the future. I. It's okay. I'm an old soul. I'm the one that drinks tea and who Fawn calls grandma. It's okay. Mona is an advocate for the past. She likes old stories and tea and, all of these things. Ooh. That being said, um, Zoe, did you know that they created modern symbols for the Taino language? It's like, come play on my turf. Haha. You can tell I'm salty about the fact that she won, right? I can tell I'm salty about the fact that she won. So if you can't tell, then you're not paying attention. Okay, so we've got that. I'm gonna go in back with this mid-tone. Put it there. Okay, so I think that's enough for that. I'm gonna take this layer and move it to overlay. There's that new layer. I don't know. That is the important question now, isn't it? That right there are the important questions that need to be answered. Now, the reason I do coloring like that is so that after I'm finished with all of that, I don't have to worry about shadows or lighting or any of those things. I just So it allows me to break my thought process up. Now, what I'm going to do is move this above for a while, put this down to normal, and I'm actually going to color this without the shadow. And what I want to do is just I'm trying to get the color on as quickly as possible. Um, because this is digital art, I can quickly fill up without having to worry about the direction of the paint and how to create interesting patterns within the object, which is something that you have to worry about with traditional art, the texture of what it is you're creating. With digital art, it allows you to sort of compartmentalize. You don't need Taino cassava bear to do that. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, you're Jamaican. We don't need any excuse for that. There's a church next to every bar. In other countries, they might say there's a bar next to every church, but no. In Jamaica, there's a church next to every bar. If you understand the difference. Oh, something is stopping me from coloring here. I wonder what it is. Is it somewhere? Aha. Oh, wow. I can't believe I did that. I colored over. Guys, this is why you have to pay attention to the layer that you're on. I colored over my shadows. Guys. Guys. And my history is not enough for this. I have to do that all over again. This is not fun. No, rum is always better. This is the great Jamaican debate right here. Rum or beer? Rum is always better, and rum cream is supreme. And I made it rhyme, so I win. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna go on top of this layer, get the red in there. Uh, Sometimes you just have to be like, okay, these things happen. Other times, you find a corner to sit down and cry in. But this is not one of those times. You can only find a corner to cry in when you have time for corner crying. Okay, I did say I was gonna do cleanup after everything else, so whoops. And I know I'm on the right layer this time. Let's put that down. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Um. Okay, let's see. That's the danger of layers. You'll draw on the wrong layers lots of times. If it weren't so important to my process of coloring, I would have just continued on the wrong layer. But because it is important to the process or the workflow. Okay, so we're gonna do that. This thing has that. We're just gonna carve a space out for Palpy. So these little things break up his silhouette just a little bit. And I'm gonna make them, well, I can't make them more angular, but in the future I shall remember, or shall endeavor to remember, that Palpy's silhouette needs a little bit of breaking up. So we're here. And that's it for that. The rest of you guys is all there. So we're just gonna. Okay. Good night, Zoe. What time is it? Yeah, we're just about to end the stream too, so. Yep. Stream ends at 10 because I also have work in the morning. Have a nice sleep and thanks for joining us. Anyway, guys, we've got 6 minutes until the end of the stream. So, what do you guys think of Palpy's new design? Is Palpy still cute? He wants to know. Does he still maintain his cuteness? Could he still hoodwink you out of an ice cream bar? These are the important questions in Palpy's life. If he's not cute enough to hoodwink you out of an ice cream bar, he's just not doing it. Like that is a standard. Like if you were eating ice cream on a hot summer day and Palpy walked up to you, could he con you out of your ice cream bar? This is the standard. Hey. Bubbles are always cute. I'd give him ice cream. Aw. Yeah, we don't have daylight savings time. You guys have decided to go out of your way to not be in time with us anymore. I don't understand what's wrong. You guys do it twice a year. Just stay with us. We're a good country to be on the same time as. I didn't understand it when I was living in America. Much less now that I'm not in America. Like, what is the purpose of daylight savings time, guys? Please tell me. I'm confused. Which is a pretty much default state for me, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. Let's do this. Palpy could con me out of an ice cream bar. I think he's that cute. Like, he really could con me out of an ice cream bar. So Palpy could con you into conning an ice cream bar to someone else. Okay. It was invented for farmers. How so? Why we still use it? You have no idea. Tradition, I suppose. That's my answer to everything. Like, if you don't know why, it's probably tradition. Oh, alright, so what I do know that I've done this is I go here, then I go here, and I do that. And then I apply that layer mask, and I can move that down. And since I have the color here, I don't have to worry about this actually being visible, so I do that. So now all my colors are looking like children's storybook cute. Let's add some depth to them. So add some depth, put some color. I'll put some color in that enchilada. There we go. That sentence made no sense at all. What did I just say? Okay, so we did this. And so we do that, and slowly but surely, these shadows will emerge into this world. So, thank you, Tony. Are you going to bed now? Did you go and bathe your daughter, by the way? This is just, you never said. I just assumed you did it. I think this is the new theme song for the stream, guys. I think I finally found one we can stick on. You gotta sound like you're in a fairy ice cream shop every single day of your life for the next few years. I can't remember if it hurts farmers or if it helps them. Well, are you pushing the clock forward or backward? Get good sleep, Tony. That's what I advocate for you. Get good sleep. I hear it's not easy. Um, there we go. We're gonna put some eyes. And then do that. Okay, so Palpy looks distinctly different, guys. Like, distinctly different. So I'm gonna check to see if it's just me or if it's just the lack of background. Uh, That's the sound of cuteness right there, Tony. That's the sound of cuteness. Yeah, it's 10:02. I'm gonna put the last touches on this. But what we're gonna do is get ready for the shadow. So we're gonna get in full point. Whoops. There, there, and over here. Now I'm just gonna do the good old slap and dash, which is a soft round brush. That's what I call it, the good old slap and dash. And why I call it that is if you ever want quick lighting, quick, soft, cute looking lighting for your characters and mine, what you do is you're good to go to the good old slap and dash brush. And I mean, this brush is actually a very powerful brush. I'm just being sarcastic for the sake of funniness, but you go to your go slap and dash brush. You scrunch it over like so. And there you go. Now I'm gonna open recent, don't resolve, view, arrange, to vertical, and I feel like the colors are off. I feel like the colors are very off. The style has changed. I'm gonna have to get back on style, but this for now can be the new design for Powby. Boy. But guys, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for stopping by. Please remember to like and to subscribe. And if you're feeling really, really generous, you can follow us over at Instagram, where you'll see almost everything that I do. The people who see everything that I do are the people in the Discord. Um, and with that, thank you for joining us. Night. And